Faturator is a relatively new and fun plugin from FedDSP. They actually gave me a license to any plugin within their catalog. Faturator was the one that intrigued me the most. It is a distortion plugin, but it's so much more than that. Now, I already own Decapitator, I already own Blackbox, Magma Tubes, but Faturator stood out as something a little bit different. It's different to Blackbox and it's different to Magma Tubes in that they are 2 stages. You're running the first stage into the second stage. So this is actually 6 stages. The different stages are FET, like a 76 style punch, tube for some fullness, some tape for glue and width, some punch, some British console snap, some fat, which is a low mid weight. Then we've got warmth, 70s Class A transformer vibe. Each circuit has its own character. This runs in series, so it runs from the FET through the tube, through the tape, to the punch, to the fat, to the warmth, all through that stuff, all through the colors. These shelving EQs are before so that you can shape it on the way in. We've got all these extra controls. I'm happy to say that they've got an auto gain and it's excellent. So the clean, fat, and fatter obviously have different looks for the plugin. Clean is transparent saturation. Fat is adding subtle transformer-like saturation. Fatter is dual transformer saturation and accentuated high-pass filter resonance, more aggressive character. So this here is a post-output limiter. You can have it off or you can have it on a safe setting, which is a transparent setting, or you can have aggro, which is a fast peak control with more character. And then we've got clarity and tilt. So just having a look in Plugin Doctor, clarity, giving a top end boost. Actually, I was wrong. I actually thought that they were shelving, but they're not. So we can filter out before it gets there. Depth is quite a big boost. Looking at that, quite a massive boost. So you probably don't want to overuse that control. Then we've got tilt, just affecting the top end and the bottom. We've got the auto gain. I'm always going to have that on. The only thing I noticed was with the auto gain is if you change through the different presets, I noticed that the auto gain, even if you switched it on, doesn't stay on, which is really quite annoying. They really need to put in a locking mechanism here just to lock that down so that you can breeze through these presets. And then we've got post distortion, low pass filters. So if we're comparing this to say Decapitator, for example, we've got 5 different flavors and 1 drive control. We've got tone shaping controls here, a way to push the input. And with Magma Tubes, you've got this 2-stage thing happening where the beauty feeds into the beast. You've got 2 different flavors here. Last but not least, same sort of thing. You got the pentode going into the triode. That feeds into that one. You've always got to compensate with the output. And then we've got air where you can add a bit of top end. You've got different flavors of distortion in these controls. But here's the thing, like none of these give me 6 different flavors like this. I'll reset it to default, put this auto gain on, and we'll just have a listen.
on the mission, no prior conditioning, never ask why. Free to now fall, free to now fall, free to now fall, free to now fall.
So first impressions are a lot of juice out of every single one of these controls, maybe a bit too much. I'm glad that we've got a limiter built in because that depth control is just insane. I can't help but wonder if it would have been better off to have the FET, the tube, the tape, all of these in parallel instead and just have a bunch of faders. The idea of them going in series is a little bit like to have that many going in series feels a little bit foreign to me. I would need to sit with this plugin a lot more to try and figure out the nuances of it. It's a bit like being a chef, but you've got 6 quite potent ingredients and they all interact in different ways. One thing that might be nice is to incorporate output and input controls so that you can control how hard you're hitting certain stages. I'm sure it's not easy making a plugin like this. Just for me, it's a little bit too much Tabasco sauce. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a little bit spicy, a little bit too much color, and maybe that will suit certain styles. What we should really do is try it out on a few individual sauces. It's just destroying it. I don't actually mind it on drums. I think it works really well. Let's give it a go on something else. What about on this guitar solo? I like that. What does it sound like in context though? Really sounds unhinged. I felt like it sounded better in solo then. I did like the quality of it. It's just really hard to find a balance. Moving on, we might try it on vocals. I'm going to put it on this vocal here.
Here I am, here I I stand like a wasted machine, a shadow of a man. I crave air, I need space to unleash all the furious passion that seeps through my hands. Dust to dust, try I must and keep fantasy tied to reality, soar through the skies. Like a bird of prey fixed on the mission, no prior conditioning, never ask why.
You can really mangle the sound, can't you? Let's go back to factory default. Maybe what I'll do is I'll flick through some presets while we play vocals in context.
Here I stand like a wasted machine, a shadow of a man. I crave air, I need space to unleash all the furious passion that seeps through my hands. Dust to dust, try and must and keep fantasy tied to reality, soar through the sky. Like a bird of prey fixed on a mission, no prior conditioning, never ask why. Freedom now for here I am, here I stand like a wasted machine, a shadow of a man. I crave air, I need space to unleash all the furious passion that seeps through my hands. Dust to dust, try and must and keep fantasy tied to reality, soar through the sky. Like a bird of prey fixed on the mission, no prior conditioning, never ask why.
It's a subtle change. I probably prefer that over the other stuff that we tried. So yeah, it's an interesting plugin. I would like to see maybe a bit more control between the different stages, or perhaps the ability to run them in parallel rather than running into each other, so that you can get those exact flavors that you want. I'm not a huge fan of the knobs. Let me know if I'm being too harsh in the comments. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this as well. The last thing that I wanted to mention was the fact that we've got some aliasing happening. It means that for a lot of this stuff, you're actually not getting a musical distortion. To give you an idea, let's have a look at Magma Tubes. Magma Tubes definitely has oversampling built in. If we go over to the harmonic analysis tab. So what I'm looking for is the test tone is this one here, and I'm just raising it into the higher frequencies. At some point it starts to reflect back down, but that's at negative 100, right? And I've heard a lot worse. The more distortion, the more harmonics, the higher the harmonics go. You start to see them mirroring back down into the audible range and creating frequencies that are not musical. So that means that you could have distortion happening way up here is actually producing sounds further down here that aren't mathematically related to the original musical signal. So they're not second or third or fourth harmonics. There's something completely different because the sampling rate can't reproduce it. The issue that I see happening with Faturator, I've obviously got a bit of noise happening in the signal, but you'll notice that we've got some stuff that's coming back down and it's at negative 50. Now this here is the test signal, and that's a harmonic that is meant to be way up here off the page. This does not relate at all. So what is that? That's 3,500 and that's nearly 16 kilohertz. So this is actually quite loud and audible, and you can see it there. So as soon as it's hitting the Nyquist limit, it's then reflecting back down. If you want to know more about why that is, I've got a video on it, which you can watch. I'll put a link up in the corner. Just to demonstrate this a bit further, I'll reset it to default. And what I'll do is I'll run a test tone, put in, say, the tube and some of the warmth, and then we'll put the auto gain on. We'll really crank it just to get those harmonics happening. Okay, now that shouldn't happen if it was oversampled. So if we go into, say, something like Meta plugin, what I've done is I've hosted it. Let's just crank all of this stuff. We'll put the auto gain on. Okay, so you can hear there that it doesn't sound as much like R2-D2 as it did before when it was running it by itself. That to me would be a really strong case to have this plugin oversampling. Hopefully the developers are watching this and plan to do that in the future. That would be amazing. Apart from that, it wouldn't necessarily be my first choice. Would definitely come in handy for those times when you just want something that would totally destroy a sound. The oversampling thing I can overlook. Decapitator doesn't have oversampling, so that's one of the most popular distortions that's still used today. I still use it. So I don't want to say that I'm like anti plugins that don't oversample, but I do feel like from a distortion point of view, particularly when you've got plugins like this, when they're doing quite a lot of distortion, I feel like you need to have that level of control so that you get a more musical and pleasing sound. Now, if you didn't understand any of the technical stuff that I explained, come and join my course when it releases in a few weeks. I'll let you know when that's happening. You'll get a much better understanding of all of the basics of mixing, including distortion and aliasing and all of those sort of topics. Thank you for sticking around. If you're still here, I'll see you next time. Happy mixing.